So, I guess this is what an overpayment looks like. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt, and welcome to the Sin Bin, and I should have technically made this video yesterday when the trade just happened and it was fresh and everything, but I just got lazy there, I was watching Adam Sandler movies, and don't blame me, but you guys know it by now. Jason Zucker has been traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for Alex Galchenyuk, Calen Addison, the defenseman, and a 2020 first-round pick. They are obviously going to the Minnesota Wild. Now, I have a lot of thoughts brewing in my head, and I have to make sure to unravel this properly, but we're going to be talking a little bit about each asset, whether it be Zucker, whether it be Calen Addison, whether it be the other guy, Alex Galchenyuk, and then I'm going to declare who's a winner. I know in the past, a lot of my trade videos, I sort of fence-walked a little bit. I said, hey, this is a good win-win trade. In my estimations, this is a little bit more clear-cut, but before I get ahead of myself, what do I think about Jason Zucker? So, obviously we know the Pittsburgh Penguins, they suffered an injury from Jake Guentzel. Jake Guentzel was having a career year. He's also one of the most underrated players I've ever seen. I made a top 10 underrated players videos. You guys can go check it out on my channel under the top 10 playlist. And I think I had Jake Guentzel pretty much in the top 5 if memory serves me right. Well, he's out. The Pittsburgh Penguins management, Jim Rutherford, they're confident they can make another run to the Stanley Cup, which would make it, the fourth cup for Sid? Anyway, they're just on a complete tear. They believe they can make it. They just believe that they're a Jason Zucker away from making it to the Stanley Cup. Therefore, that's why I think they gave such a hefty price for a guy like Jason Zucker. Now, I say for a guy like Jason Zucker, what do I really think about him? Well, first of all, when it comes to the beard, A+. You got to respect that beard. Second of all, obviously, given the different time zones and given the fact I'm not really interested in the Minnesota Wild, I don't get to watch a whole lot of Minnesota Wild games, but the games I did watch, there were always two players that really intrigued me. One being Jared Spurgeon. I love that player. Another one, another smallish player, is Jason Zucker. Jason Zucker is the type of player, you know what you're getting. All right, that's actually a good segue. Let's look at his points. So he was drafted in the second round, 59th overall in the 2020 draft. 28 years old. He's sort of in his prime. I wouldn't say he's past it necessarily, but if you look at his points total, all right, he had that 1 year in 2017, 2018 where he managed to cross the 30-goal mark and get 64 points. All right, afterwards, he kind of had a dip. Got 42 points, and then this year he's on 22 points. You know what I say about Jason Zucker? He's one of those players where I'll tell you, I think if he's on a good team, like the Pittsburgh Penguins, he's going to flourish. He's one of those who are sort of being sunken down by the team he's on. Like, no offense to the Minnesota Wild, but you're kind of not a good team. Galchenyuk, on the other hand, he has all of the tools to thrive in Pittsburgh. If he were playing up to par, the coach would have put him on lines with Malkin. They would have put him on lines with Crosby. But the fact of the matter is, the way I view it, Alex Galchenyuk is sort of damaged goods. What do I mean by that? Well, he was drafted 3rd overall by the Montreal Canadiens. There was a lot of expectations surrounding Alex Galchenyuk. And that similarly to Zucker, actually, very oddly similarly to Zucker, he had that really one good 30-goal year. And he was never able to repeat it. So when it comes to Galchenyuk and Zucker, I definitely think that Zucker's the better player, but they're very similar in that they had that one great year, and then they're sort of perennial 40-point players. Galchenyuk's year this year is absolute trash. He went on from the Canadiens to the Coyotes. He wasn't able to do much, and then he moved on to the Penguins, and obviously we all know how that ended. One piece of the puzzle that's really intriguing me, and one piece that I will say it's because of this that it's an overpayment on the part of the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's because of Calen Addison. Look at Calen Addison. He's drafted 2nd overall in the 53 overall. Sorry, not 2nd overall, 53rd overall in the 2018 draft. And I remember when he got drafted, if you were to look at the thumbnail I put up, a lot of people were questioning his conditioning. They were saying he might be a little too pudgy, actually. And he definitely has that soft baby face. Hey, I can't complain. I have it too. Look at these chubby cheeks. But Calen Addison, if you were to look at him this year versus his draft year, He's a whole different player. He got in shape. He probably quit eating mac and cheese or whatever he was eating. But better yet, he represented Team Canada at the World Juniors, and he played fabulously. I shouldn't be using that word fabulously. It's a little too gay. He played great. He played some great hockey. I loved Calen Addison, and he just fits in the mold of the new age defenseman. A defenseman who's not really big, a defenseman who's not very physical, but he can skate, and he has some offensive skills. He can make some absolutely beauty breakouts. So that's what I think about Calen Addison. And if you're a Minnesota Wilds fan, you know, Jens95, I follow her on Twitter. She wasn't that happy about the trade. I get there's an emotional attachment to Zucker, but for what you're getting in return, this is a complete overpayment on the part of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I gotta say, it's a complete overpayment. If it were just Galchenyuk in a first, maybe I'd be saying it's even. But throwing in Addison in the mix, holy crap, Canadiens fans, can you imagine what you could get for Tatar? And speaking of Tatar, I haven't read reports or anything like that, but I did know that the Pittsburgh Penguins were interested in him. Okay? The reason they went with Zucker, I'm almost 100%, is probably because they went to the Canadiens and Marc Bergevin said, hey, look, Tatar's not for deals here. We're not giving Tatar away. So that's why they went to Zucker. But anyway, if and buts were candies and nuts, it'd be Christmas every year. So with that being said, it is Christmas every year. I don't know what I'm talking about. I hope you guys enjoyed my analysis of the Zucker Galchenyuk trade and Calen Addison trade. Let me know what you guys think. Is it as lopsided as some people might think? I don't know. Let me know. And without further ado, my name is Matt. Keep your stick on the ice.